If I was to ask you guys the simple question, what do you think WWE's best television program during the week has been? What would the answer be? What would your answer be to that question? JD, I think NXT has done a fabulous job leading up to NXT TakeOver Chicago #2. I think their storylines have been great. I think these feuds have been very good. A lot of fan investment on all ends. I think NXT is really hitting their high mark with their programming. They're firing on all cylinders. All guns blazing. You, sir, are correct. I can't disagree with you. Some of you might actually disagree with that statement and say, JD, I have to disagree with your NXT sentiment. I'm going to go with 205 Live. Buddy Murphy has been an MVP of WWE under the radar, and nobody seems to be talking about him. Match of the Year candidate with Cedric Alexander, and a great match with Mustafa Ali this past week on 205 Live. Tough to disagree with point B, given by the student in the back. Now, when we talk about the main roster situation, envision this. Envision this. You wake up in the morning and you get your wife ready for work, right? You pack her a nice little lunch, kiss goodbye. Have a great day, honey. I'll see you when you get home. She seems to be having a great morning and everything seems to be going good. All of a sudden, she gets a phone call directed to her office. The boss is calling her in to the office. And she sits down. The boss is going over her analytics. She's got this review coming. And she hasn't really kept up on standards. They seem to be going down and down and down as the weeks go on. Numbers really aren't up. She hasn't been consistent. And she gets fired. She gets fired. What started out as a promising day, a feel-good day going into work, by lunchtime, she is relieved of her duty. She calls you up and starts crying on the phone. You don't know how to console her. You want to help her, but there's not really much you can do right now because you yourself are at work. Honey, don't worry about it. Go home, slip into something comfortable. I'll be home at 6 p.m. sharp. I'll cook you dinner, candlelit dinner at home. I'll make your favorite meal. I'll bring home some bottle of wine, your favorite wine, right? I'll get you flowers. I'll make it nice and comfortable for you this evening. Don't worry about it. And I'll sit with you tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm off, and we'll go on Indeed.com, or we'll go on to LinkedIn, and we'll find some employment for you. I'll help you start the search for a new job. All right? Dinner is made, you eat dinner, and the kitchen's a fucking mess, right? You're looking at the kitchen, and everything's all over the place. The stovetop is filled with stains. You know, the sink is filled with dishes. You gotta clean the dishes off before you put them in the dishwasher. Oh my God, man. All I want to do is fucking sit down and relax, go to sleep, and get rest for tomorrow morning. Right? Because I got to deal with my wife, and I got to find her a job, and I got to be a good husband. So she's sitting down on the couch, and you're figuring out how to fucking clean this mess in the kitchen. You know, after an hour or so, the kitchen's nice and clean, pots and pans where they belong. The kitchen's all bleached and cleaned, and it smells lemony fresh. Then you got this fucking weird, stinky odor coming from the kitchen. The trash needs to be taken out. You go over to the trash pail, and you take the trash bag out, you tie it up real tight, and you go outside, and you take the trash bag to the trash pail, and you fucking put that lid on top of the trash pail, because the stench is so fucking bad that you don't want your neighbors to smell it, otherwise they think you might have some fucking issue. That moment that you take the trash out from your pail that's in the kitchen, you walk it over to the trash pails outside, and you cover that motherfucker, because the smell is so bad. You want to know my weekly thoughts on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live? You look back at that instant, and that's my week in review for WWE. Trash. Garbage. How these people are allowed to get away with such garbage on their television is just mind-boggling. And then you got fans on social media who find nothing wrong with the product. Nothing wrong. Rinse and repeat. Take the script from last week, throw it away, go into a new venue. It's like they don't even take out the trash in WWE. Reach into the trash pail. Find the script for last week. Smooth it out so Vince don't know, as if he fucking cares. The only thing he cares about are the crumpled up bills in his fucking suit jacket. Erase a name here, erase a name there. All right, we'll change segment 4 and we'll change segment 13. Nobody will know the fucking difference. How do we start the show? Oh, let's have the general manager come out and make a tag team match. Elias and Jinder Mahal. Oh, but Mr. McMahon, didn't we do Kevin Owens and Mahal against Rollins and Reigns? Who cares? Nobody's gonna know. They don't know what they had for breakfast this morning. They're going to realize what happened last week on Monday Night Raw. Rinse and repeat. You know how annoying it is to have Kurt Angle fucking come out every fucking week and do the same thing every fucking week, and he does this, chanting, "You suck." For 1 week, I don't want Kurt Angle to come out at all. 1 week. I just want a wrestling match with the first thing that I hear is a performer's theme music. He gets in the ring, takes off his fucking wrestling clothes, and is ready to wrestle. And you have a storyline for the show built up in the match. Do something different. Do something different. I don't know how these people present this shit to you and call it a wrestling show. They don't care. They don't care. Monday Night Raw was rinse and repeat from the last 4 weeks. Ever since the shakeup, Raw has been horrendous. Whoever says these are decent, good, passable shows, your quality or standards are so incredibly low. I guarantee you the people watching these shows who say, well, Monday Night Raw was decent. That's like me going to a fucking bar, looking across the room and seeing a 9 out of 10. Flowing blonde hair, the fucking most beautiful blue eyes I've ever seen. She's got her fucking tits hanging out. She's got this elegant dress on with a beautiful pair of high heels. Then I look over at the other fucking corner and I see some fucking whale who's 400 fucking pounds with fucking barbecue sauce dripping down her fucking lip. Which one am I gonna pick and go up to and buy a drink for? Hey honey, how many fucking chicken wings do you want? Let's go home and fucking lather ourselves up in barbecue sauce. Those are the standards of people watching this show, not me. Not me. Now, I'm not saying I can get a 9 out of 10 blonde with beautiful flowing blonde hair and beautiful ocean-like eyes. Not saying I can do that. But I know what's fucking good and what's not good. I'm not blind to the fucking fact of what we're watching on television. Literally nothing happened on Monday Night Raw. I don't even know where the fucking opening of this podcast is going, man. Nothing happened on Monday Night Raw. Nia Jax continues to look like a blithering idiot. Ronda Rousey coming out of WrestleMania. What happened? They are putting her in the worst position that she could possibly be in. The facial expressions are terrible. The interactions with Natty and Nia are forced beyond belief. Having her on commentary is a huge fucking mistake. I made mention of Ronda ain't coming along too well now that she ain't in the ring with two Hall of Famers and Stephanie McMahon at WrestleMania. You look at Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler's coming along a little bit nicely compared to Ronda Rousey. Women's title feud that they're coining now the biggest women's title match in Monday Night Raw history. Blah, 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 blah. Heard the same initiative a couple years ago when Charlotte and Sasha Banks were lighting the world on fire on Monday Night Raw. Something that isn't really organic, completely feels unnatural, yet you want me to buy into Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey. Give me a break. So that feud has gone nowhere. 1 week Nia is heel, 1 week she's babyface. The other week she's heel, another week she's babyface. We're going to just call her Nia Big Show Jax from now on. She's got more heel turns, face turns in fucking 1 month than Big Show does in a span of a year. Which one is she, WWE? Because I can't fucking tell anymore. WWE is making it as if Braun Strowman is going to win Money in the Bank. Meanwhile, WWE seems to have forgotten that Braun Strowman won a Royal Rumble with 50 men in it. And now all of a sudden, Braun Strowman, because he is in the Money in the Bank ladder match, somehow needs this briefcase to achieve great heights on Monday Night Raw. How many times do I have to tell you, Braun Strowman is not a guy I want to see with the briefcase? I don't give a fuck how big, tall, fast, strong he is. I don't care how much of a monster he is. I don't give a fuck if he choked out the Loch Ness Monster. It shouldn't happen, and it won't happen. Braun Strowman doesn't need the Money in the Bank briefcase. Neither does a guy like Samoa Joe. You're looking at the field in that match. It's either going to The Miz on SmackDown or Finn Balor on Monday Night Raw. Simple as that. As far as I'm concerned, it's a two-man race to the top of that ladder. Everybody else in that match doesn't stand a chance in my eyes. Bobby Roode, we discussed. Turn the guy fucking heel and get him off television, man. The guy is completely worthless in every aspect. Every aspect. Monday Night Raw is actually a lot better when he's not on the show. That's how bad he's been. And that's a fucking crying shame that I'm saying that about Bobby Roode, who I adored in NXT. Seems like WWE may be in a position to start turning him heel, as I discussed on Off the Script Extra on Thursday. If you missed that, go check it out. It's on the channel right now. Bobby Roode needs to be heel, desperately. Bobby Roode smiling and running away from the baby faces. Nah, we don't need that shit. We need suit-wearing, snakeskin shoe-wearing, I'm a prick, I'm going to tell your wife that you're a B-plus player while I'm going to fuck her all night long, Bobby Roode. That's the type of Bobby Roode we need. The Bobby Roode that comes out saying he's going to make Monday Night Raw glorious. Jesus Christ could come down from the fucking heavens and say the same thing, and I wouldn't believe him at this point. But still, it's worth a shot. At least it'll make him a lot more presentable on Monday Night Raw. Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley continue this horrendous feud that I'm sure nobody on this fucking planet watching this program even cares about. Why this is even taking place on a pay-per-view, let alone why are you putting Sami Zayn with this clown? It's actually making him come off a lot worse. And Sami Zayn is like one of those swimmers trying desperately to reach for the surface and get a breath of fresh air. And WWE continues to just push him down, drowning him along the way. Bobby Lashley is terrible, man. If there's a signing that is worse than Bobby Lashley, please notify me, because I can't find anybody in recent memory worse than Bobby Lashley on WWE television. Speaking of just taking somebody from another company and bringing them on into the WWE, this guy is terrible. This guy is absolutely terrible. You know, we talk about Smiley Finn. This guy is being fucking roasted by Sami Zayn, making fun of his family, he's smiling. Making fun of his Instagram account, all the positivity on his Instagram account, the guy's smiling. Guy's making fun of his military service and calling him a liar, he's smiling. What do we gotta do to make this guy angry? Does Sami Zayn have to fuck his wife in the middle of the ring? I don't understand this shit. What is it gonna take to get Bobby Lashley turning into fucking Lou Ferrigno. I need something to happen here. He needs to turn into the Incredible Hulk. And fast. Otherwise, get him off television. The only bright spot on Monday Night Raw, and it seems to be a fucking broken record every time I say it every single week, is Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins should be in the Universal Championship picture. This guy is wrestling Elias at Money in the Bank. This storyline is the only thing worth anything on Monday Night Raw because it actually presents a few different scenarios that could benefit this show. If Rollins loses the title, he's going to go for the Universal Championship. That's the way it should be. Will it happen? I doubt it. If Elias wins the title, then that gives him a title that he certainly deserves and opens up the field for other challengers to come on in. Maybe we get Elias versus Finn Balor. Finn Balor could take the title. Bobby Roode could come on in as a heel. Finn Balor versus Bobby Roode for the Intercontinental Championship. The wheels go on and turn. Opens up a little bit more for the mid-card on Monday Night Raw. You know? We all want to see Seth Rollins as the Universal Champion. We all want to see Seth Rollins slay the beast. Is that going to happen? I don't know. I don't know. Only time will tell. But the way that WWE is doing this has worked so far. So far. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's happening 3 weeks before the pay-per-view. How much tension can these two have going into a pay-per-view with 3 weeks of build? Should have happened 6 weeks ago. Not 3 weeks before the pay-per-view. That was Monday Night Raw. SmackDown Live was a little bit better, but still, you know, anything's better than Monday Night Raw. SmackDown Live, we got a lot of women on Monday Night Raw, on SmackDown Live, rather. We got a lot of women's action on SmackDown Live. Charlotte versus Becky. We got Lana and Naomi in that mixed tag team match. We got Asuka and Carmella. I don't want to sound like a broken record here, man. Carmella needs to lose the title. Asuka needs the title going on into the rest of 2018. You know this. Carmella is terrible. There's nothing about Carmella that speaks to me as being a champion. Asuka is the right one to carry that division. We need Asuka versus Charlotte too at SummerSlam. That's all I will say. Going into Money in the Bank, SmackDown seems to be doing just a little bit better of a job compared to Monday Night Raw. All of the Money in the Bank competitors on both the men's and women's side on Monday Night Raw, it doesn't feel special. It seems like they put them in fatal four-ways and triple threat matches and tag team matches, and there's no tension between anybody. Nobody is more superior than the other. There's literally no build to any of these competitors being in the match. There's no grudge between one another. WWE just lumps them together. At least on SmackDown Live, we got something different. When Charlotte and Becky went one-on-one on SmackDown Live, it actually was the first time during this entire 6-week span of build that we got some tension. We got two women who are in the Money in the Bank ladder match going at each other, trying to gain momentum going into said ladder match. And it was very good. That's exactly what I want to see. Why aren't we seeing more singles matches on Monday Night Raw? You know, it's easy to put Braun Strowman and Bobby Roode in a singles match, but what tension is there between the two? Nothing. You know, it's good to put Finn Balor and Kevin Owens in a singles match on Monday Night Raw, but when you hype the initiative, this is the first time ever that they're meeting in a WWE ring, you know, you're making me look like a fucking idiot. Or is the NXT title unimportant to you? WWE does things that just boggle my fucking mind. But with Becky and Charlotte, it was the first time in the entire 6 weeks of this Money in the Bank build that I actually fucking legitimately cared that two women, two competitors who were battling 2 weeks from now in Money in the Bank, I actually was invested in. Because it's something that I could see going long term. It's something that I could see, you know, build even more so at Money in the Bank. Both women are very competitive. Whoever wins this match is going to have one step over the other going into Money in the Bank. And Becky Lynch came out on top. And I mentioned on Tuesday when I did my review, if Becky Lynch loses the Money in the Bank briefcase match, if she loses that ladder match, it should have no bearing on what happens to Becky Lynch moving on after that pay-per-view. She is no doubt, in my mind, the number one contender for the Women's Championship, no matter if Carmella wins it or Asuka wins it. Because a win over Charlotte should be treated as something big. The wheels have to go round and round. You got to look back at what Charlotte did. She beat Asuka. So Becky beating Charlotte should have much importance to it. I hope WWE realizes that because it's been a very long time since Becky has any momentum on that show. And beating Charlotte hopefully was a step in the right direction. Big Cass and Daniel Bryan seems to be the other big thing. Big Cass cut a promo. Oh, I'm going to beat Daniel Bryan because I'm 7 feet tall. Who gives a fuck? You still can't cut a promo. You're still green as fuck in the ring. So why am I going to believe that you are going to beat Daniel Bryan? Daniel Bryan made you tap out with no outside interference at Backlash in 9 minutes. What makes you think, or why should I believe you, that something's going to change here between now and Money in the Bank? You've done nothing. You've done nothing. Meanwhile, Daniel Bryan comes out on WWE.com and cuts a scathing promo, literally eviscerating this guy, but it wasn't shown on SmackDown Live. I wonder why. I understand why. From a creative standpoint, they want Big Cass to look big. They want Big Cass to look strong. They want him to have some momentum going into this match with Daniel Bryan because Daniel Bryan got the win. He's 1-0 over Big Cass. If they cut that promo on SmackDown Live, Big Cass wouldn't stand no fucking chance in this match. Again, I don't give a fuck how good Daniel Bryan is or not, promo or not. Nobody wants to see this match. And we don't know what's going on with Daniel Bryan anyway. He hasn't signed a new contract. All we know is that he's in contract negotiations. We discussed this last week on Off the Script Part 3. We don't know what's going on. For all we know, Big Cass could go into Money in the Bank and win against Daniel Bryan because he hasn't signed a new contract yet. WWE doesn't owe Daniel Bryan anything unless he signs the dotted line. So if they want to put Big Cass over Bryan, they certainly could. I'm not going to care, though. These guys have done nothing to make me sit here and say, yeah, you know what, I'm invested in that. SmackDown Live really has nothing going on for it at all. It's flowed better. It's been a better show. But they ain't much better than Monday Night Raw. Every week, these shows going into Money in the Bank have felt lifeless. They felt soulless, directionless. It's like they just lumped everybody into one ladder match with no storylines between any of these competitors. The most important thing is, yeah, I'm going to win the briefcase. Yeah, I'm going to win the briefcase. But they didn't establish one guy being better than the other 3 guys, or one woman being better than the other 3 women on their brand, and vice versa with SmackDown Live. We haven't seen any tension between anybody. It should be a race to the top. Who's got the most momentum going into this thing? Seems like WWE much rather have kept everybody at an even playing field. I don't care about anybody on Raw, and I certainly don't give a shit about anybody on SmackDown. Well, maybe Joe and Miz, but other than that, I really don't care. These shows are just one and the same, man. One may be a little bit better than the other, but that's not saying much when you're looking at Monday Night Raw and seeing what they're producing. NXT is a different story. Every fucking week I sound like a broken record. NXT is just a great show. Shayna Baszler and Nikki Cross doing great things. 2 weeks of build, and they're better than anything that they've shown on Raw or SmackDown with the women's division. I don't believe it. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to book a decent fucking angle. They're doing a great job. And Nikki Cross, I believe, is going to be a great interim opponent for Shayna Baszler before she moves on to Kairi Sane. Speaking of Kairi Sane, she beat Lacey Evans. Hopefully she puts Lacey Evans behind her and she starts winning some matches. Because I think that's the money match for TakeOver Brooklyn during Summerslam weekend. Kairi Sane winning the title, and then we see the introduction of Bianca Belair and her ascent to the top of the NXT Women's Division. Alistair Black and Lars Sullivan. I mentioned this on my NXT review, man. You look at the TakeOver card in Chicago, and Alistair Black is literally the 5th most important match going into that show. And he's the NXT champion. You would not believe me if I told you. He's the NXT champion. And everything that WWE is doing right now with Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, Gargano, Ciampa, it just seems more important. Even Nikki Cross and Shayna Baszler have more build than Lars Sullivan and Alistair Black. Alistair Black, I mentioned this on my review, did not need the NXT championship, and it's proving me right every single week. He was a guy that was already made for the main roster. He was going to be on the main roster regardless if he won the NXT championship or not. But I guess you could look at it in a positive way. Alistair Black being positioned, in my opinion, as the 5th most important thing going into that show with the NXT championship just speaks for the rest of the roster. Look at how great everybody else is coming along. So when Alistair Black is plucked from NXT and put on Raw or SmackDown, he's really not even going to be missed down there. He ain't. So I'm trying to look at it in a positive way. I just don't like to see a world championship being devalued or treated as second fiddle. But I guess that's how great Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa have been. We'll see what happens at TakeOver, but that's just my opinion on that. I still don't think Alistair Black needed the NXT Championship. I don't even think Andrade Cien Almas should have been brought up to the main roster. I think they should have gotten another match out of those two. He should have gotten a rematch, and then if you wanted to do whatever you wanted to do there, bring Andrade up, give Alistair Black a token title run, give him a title match or two, and then bring him to the main roster. It wouldn't have made any difference. Lars Sullivan's a different story. I think he could have waited a little bit longer to get his first title match, but at least it looks like WWE is pushing the wheels in motion to make him the big monster down in NXT. Do I think he wins? No. I don't think he wins. I think you keep the title on Black, and then you put the title on Velveteen Dream. Because realistically, if you look at the landscape of NXT, there really isn't anybody that is set to take that title off of Alistair Black at all. It's too soon for Ricochet. It's too soon for EC3. Adam Cole's the North American champion. Velveteen Dream, in my opinion, should beat Ricochet at TakeOver Chicago, and he should be positioned as the NXT champion. Wouldn't that be something? He's the one guy that people want to see most down there, and he's got the crowd in the palm of his fucking hand. Give him the title. He's got the makings of a world championship, and he's receiving the reactions as a world champion. It makes sense. It really does make sense. That's what I would do, and then you bring Alistair Black up to the main roster after SummerSlam. 205 Live. I mean, I want to mention Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, but what can I say? I mean, if these guys don't put on Match of the Year at TakeOver Chicago, I mean, they're doing something wrong. I mean, that ending segment on NXT television was fucking great. Johnny got his revenge on Ciampa. He threw Ciampa into the LED board this time. Busted him open. Got the Gargano escape on him. Took him about 7 officials to get this guy off of Ciampa. It's going to be a great fucking match, man. And Morrow is adding to the dialogue every single week. It's great shit. There's nothing more I can say, man. I just want to see these two in action, and I want to see where the next chapter goes with this storyline. Because it's literally the very best thing on WWE television. This is the second week in a row I watched 205 Live because of requested from you guys. You guys requested I watch 205 Live. You guys mentioned to me, JD, you got to go out and watch Buddy Murphy and Mustafa Ali. Again, they didn't disappoint. It was not better than what Cedric Alexander and Buddy Murphy did, but my God, man. Buddy Murphy is quickly becoming one of my favorite things on all of WWE. Guy can fucking go. You know, you think about his days in NXT, it's like he's a completely different person. Buddy Murphy is on top of his game right now. And the inclusion of Lio Rush to 205 Live. Look at 205 Live, man. Look at the roster that they got on Tuesday nights. If you're bringing in Lio Rush, who I've seen up close and personal because I've called matches for him at House of Glory. Guy is fucking phenomenal whether you like him or not. Lio Rush, Cedric Alexander, you got Gran Metalik, you got Lindsay Dorado, you got Brian Kendrick, Buddy Murphy, Hideo Itami, Drew Gulak. You got TJP. You got Jack Gallagher, Tony Nese. Then you add Lio Rush to that. Imagine if Neville was there. Imagine if Rich Swann. Imagine if Rich Swann was still there. We'd be talking about 205 Live having probably the best roster in all of WWE. I mean, you talk about 205 Live when Vince McMahon was there, with Enzo leading the charge, and everybody else played second fiddle. Everybody else is getting a piece of the pizza pie over there. It's not just one guy. Everybody has a moment to shine. 205 Live is doing great things, man. Adding Lio Rush to 205 Live is going to take the brand upward. That's how good he is. Wait till you see him. My only regret is not seeing him in NXT. If they're going to continue bolstering that roster, it needs to have that same type of presentation on Monday Night Raw. We need to start seeing some of these guys infiltrate NXT. We need to start getting some of these matches at Full Sail during some NXT tapings. Maybe at a TakeOver. You cannot keep the Cruiserweight Championship on Tuesday nights after SmackDown Live in front of half-empty seats. If that's the type of product that you're producing, you cannot. When a takeover comes and you got a Cruiserweight Championship match built up, put that motherfucker on takeover. Feature these guys on Monday Night Raw the same way you feature them on 205 Live. How many times I gotta tell you? There's no way you're gonna put that Cedric Alexander match versus Buddy Murphy on Monday Night Raw and it's not gonna get over. That's the type of shit we need to be seeing on Monday night. That's the type of shit that you would start a show off with. But WWE doesn't give a fuck. No, they want to give us tag team battle royals that start impromptu, and then one member of the team is eliminated while his tag team partner is looking around dumbfounded asking, what are the rules again? I don't know. I thought every man for himself in a battle royal, a.k.a. Drew McIntyre. Fuck out of here, man. WWE is a fucking mess, but they're making $1 billion. They're making all this money. As if it's any concern to you, right? All I give a fuck is them putting on shows like NXT and 205 Live. When they put on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, it's, oh, they're making money. Why can't they make money and put on a show like NXT? That doesn't insult my intelligence. You know what doesn't insult your intelligence? This fucking show. Off the Script, episode 225, part number 1. This week is going to be a big week, man. I got a lot of major announcements. I got House of Glory this Saturday, and it's going to be a good weekend, man. So this is episode 225. We're going to talk about the plans for Summerslam, and they ain't good. I don't know what else I could say. I don't know how else I could say it. It's as if WWE just doesn't fucking learn. And if this is any indication of what we're getting at SummerSlam, clearly the WWE doesn't give a fuck about the company, the creative direction on television, or their fans. They just want to make Vince McMahon's dick rock hard to see Roman Reigns win the Universal Championship, as if it's going to fucking matter to anybody. Yeah, the ratings are going to increase because Roman Reigns is the Universal Champion. Yeah, sure. Instead of doing the right thing, they want to continue doing what is wrong, but it's WWE. It's what everybody expects them to do anyway. Something right? Nah, fuck that. Something wrong? Yeah, let's go with that. Anyway, we'll talk about everything. We got a lot of major news. I got a few, pretty exciting announcements. So let's hit the intro, man. Thank you guys so much for all the support. This is Off the Script, episode 225, part number 1. Let's hear that fucking beautiful theme, and I'll be right back on the flip side with Off the Script. Off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth. And I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not. WWE is great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Kenny Omega, Okada. Delete! What is it, man? Can I suck your dick? What is it, man? And this is the #1 fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is Off the Script. Man, I got so many things to talk about. I honestly don't even know where to begin before we even get into the news and rumors, man. So much. I want to start off by saying thank you to everybody. I am now in the mindset of aiming towards 100,000. I mean, my mindset's always been there. Aiming towards the 100,000 subscriber threshold, but my mindset now is there more so than it was before. And it's very difficult for me to put out rapid fire 3-4 minute videos, man, because my mentality was when I watch something like that and I see, like, I'm not saying anything bad about them whatsoever, so please don't misconstrue my words. I love the guys over at Cultaholic. I love everybody over there. I watch Ollie Davis and Luke Owen every day. I watch Wrestle Talk. I watch Cultaholic. But I see 2, 3, 4-minute videos uploaded, and it's just rapid fire with no thought or personal opinion behind said news and rumors. And it's like, I look at that and I see people who are just uploading for the sake of uploading, just to get that ad revenue. I was never about that. Man. So for me, doing rapid fire videos and doing 2, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, it's something that I really can't do. I'm a guy who likes to sit here and talk. I'm a guy who likes to sit here and think out logically and go step by step on how I would do a certain something. Plus, I don't have a green screen yet. You think this is where I want the show to be and stay. I don't want to fucking stay here, man. I have fucking ideas out the ass. I just can't put them into effect yet. I don't want to have this background behind me, man. I don't want none of this shit. This show is going to continue to get better. When it's at a point where I want it to be, you're going to see it. You're going to see it. But I can't do 2, 3, 4-minute videos. So what I've wanted to do is get out mini episodes. And that's exactly what I did on Thursday. I did 2 off-the-script extras. One was about, 15 minutes long. The other one was about 17 minutes long. Rapid fire, 2, 3, 4 stories max, with my quick thoughts and opinions behind everything that I talked about. So if you guys want to see more of that, I'm assuming the reception was good. So if you guys want to see more of that, let me know what you want out of that. If you want them to be shorter. Obviously I had a few of the people in the comment section, don't change what doesn't need to be changed. If it's not broken, don't fix it. What's going to happen to Off the Script? You're going to have a podcast to do on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yes, I am not changing a goddamn fucking thing about this show. I finally got this show to a point where I'm happy with it, and a schedule and a format that I actually like, after all these years. But if you guys want to see more of that kind of content, shorter episodes of Off the Script talking about the minor news, let me know. Let me know if you're liking what I've done so far and if you want to continue seeing it on the weeks going forward this summer. Another big thing people are asking me is if I'm going to cover Dominion. The answer is yes. I will be covering Dominion, but I will not be watching the entire show. I will be covering the main event matches only. So that means Naito, Jericho, Omega, and Okada, and whatever else they got planned. I think there's another 2 big matches that they got planned. That's it. I think there's 4 major main event matches on that show. That's all I'm covering. Because honestly, I tried to watch Wrestle Kingdom, which I did, and it took me all day. I was also at a very bad, state. I was in a very bad state of mind during that entire week. Terrible. I didn't want anything to do with anybody or professional wrestling. I didn't even want to fucking do a YouTube channel at that point. I just felt miserable. I pulled myself through to watch that entire event all day, and it snowed that week, and it was just miserable, and I was going through personal problems. I reviewed the whole show, but I don't want to sit here and watch another 8-hour fucking wrestling show. I don't want to do it, so I'm only covering the main matches. I'll watch them somehow. If I have to order the New Japan World, I'll do it. I'm not covering the whole show, but I will be doing a review after the fact of Dominion and giving my quick thoughts in a 20, 25-minute video max. So for those asking me, JD, are you going to be covering Dominion? Yes, I will be. I will be in Chicago for All In. I don't know how many days I'm going to be out there. I may spend the whole fucking week out there. I don't know. I've never been to Chicago. I've always wanted to go. I've always wanted to experience the eateries and dine on Chicago food and go to all the hot spots to go drink and all this other shit. So I may actually be out there a little bit longer than just the All In weekend, but I will be at All In. I want to thank Matt from Wrestle Rumble for getting me my All In ticket. I'll be sitting with him during All In, and I will be doing StarCast. I will be doing Podcast Row. For all you guys asking if I'm going to be at StarCast, yes. I'm just waiting for the official announcement via their official Twitter account. But I will be at StarCast. I will be on Podcast Row Friday. So if you guys are going to be at StarCast, I will be there on Friday. So make sure you guys mark that on your calendar. I'll also be in Pittsburgh, Extreme Rules weekend. That's still the plan. We have to get that thing going. There'll be a huge meet and greet, and there'll be dinner the night before Extreme Rules with me, Bryan, and the entire Wrestle Rumble crew at Las Vegas Mexican Restaurant. We're just trying to nail down a good marketing, agenda for it, and we're going to attack in the next couple of weeks. So if you're going to be in Pittsburgh for Extreme Rules, if you're flying in, if you're in, the neighboring towns or Pittsburgh, come out. I would love to make this a big deal so we can have this happen, regularly. That's Extreme Rules weekend. That's July 15th. I'll be in Pittsburgh. I also got word that I will be attending New York City Comic Con, man. I will be at New York Comic Con. I applied for a press badge, and I got my application back, and I was approved. They gave me a press badge for the entire week, Thursday through Sunday. So if you guys are going to the New York Comic Con, I will be there. I will be getting in, and I will be documenting it, vlogging. I will be trying to conduct interviews with people. I'm gonna try and make it a big deal, man. I've never been to a New York Comic Con. My good friend John has gone every single year, and he says it's a good time. So this will be my first. So if you guys are gonna be at the New York Comic Con, I will be there. First time ever. I actually applied for something, and I actually said, I might not even get in. Let me give it a shot. And then I get an email back saying, "Yep, you were approved." So there you go. I'm going to the New York Comic Con, man. So it's gonna be a decent business year for Off the Script. When I said this is going to be my year, I'm not fucking kidding around, man. And in 2019, I expected to outdo 2018 and so on and so forth, man. This is we all love wrestling. This is, great and all. It's our passion, it's our love, but I turned my passion and my love into a business. And I will not have anybody stop me and my business, man. This is a business. It's not fun and games. It is to a certain extent, but I take this very seriously, and I'm always looking to improve, and I'm always looking to get better, and, my goal is to be on serious. My goal is to be legit. So that's my ultimate goal. That's my ultimate endpoint there. So we'll see what happens with that. But, man, those are all the good things happening, and I just wanted to fill you guys in on all of that. Good stuff coming up. So if you've ever wanted to share a Guinness with me, there'll be plenty of opportunity for you to do so. We got Comic-Con. We got Extreme Rules. We got Chicago All In. We got Summerslam weekend coming up. I'm going to be doing Summerslam meet and greets on my own. I hope Justin LeBar invites me to do what he's done the last 2 years with him at 205th. So I'll be out there doing that, hopefully, with him. I'll reach out to him when the time calls for it, but I'll be doing my own meet and greet at my own bar, man. So we'll figure that out, and I'll get you guys out there, and we'll have a good time SummerSlam weekend. If you guys missed anything on the channel, please go and check out everything you might have missed, man. Raw, SmackDown, NXT. We got 2 off-the-script extras. We talk about Shawn Michaels coming back. Actually, let me go over what we talk about in these videos, man. It's some good shit. We talk about Shawn Michaels coming back for one more match. He talked about that. WWE possibly splitting up Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, as we've seen on Monday Night Raw in that terrible Tag Team Battle Royal. Undertaker's coming back to the WWE. Against who and when? We talk about it. Major heel turn finally coming for Bobby Roode. Daniel Bryan main eventing WrestleMania 35. What's that? Not Roman Reigns? We talk about it. Daniel Bryan main eventing WrestleMania 35 against The Miz. Sounds good to me. And Madison Square Garden kind of upset with WWE and Vince McMahon at this stage of the game. Why WWE won't hold events at Madison Square Garden, and why MSG is looking at WWE asking, what the fuck's going on? You're at the Barclays Center for 4 years in a row. What about us? Did you forget about us and all the history we have? We talk about all that on Off the Script Extra. They are live on the channel right now. Please go and check them out. Everything you need is linked in the top right corner of this video. Click the link, click the annotation, go check that out. Plenty of content for you guys to catch up on. Plus, God of War live stream that I did on June 4th as well, documenting Chapter 6 in God of War for PlayStation 4. Probably the most important thing I want to talk about here, man, and I told him I was going to do it. He didn't ask me to do it. I'm doing it out of the goodness of my own heart because he is a good friend of mine. He's been a good supporter. He's actually been on this show. He's been the only guest. Yeah, imagine that. I've done 225 episodes, and I've only had one guest on this show. You know, he took the reins for one day, and it made other people jealous for whatever reason. I don't know why, because he's a good fucking dude. You know, Rusty, my buddy Rusty, teamed up with me to help get you guys off the script one weekend, and he did a fantastic job, and I want to support him in what he's doing here, man. As you guys know, same thing as last year, same thing as year before that, he rides every summer. Not only does it help him get in shape, but he's riding for an unbelievable cause, man. It's the Bike for MS, multiple sclerosis. The Toyota Best Damn Bike Tour. And I'm looking at his fundraising page right now. And I want to read you what he's got written here, because I want you guys to hear it. If you guys are listening on iTunes and Podbean and all the platforms, I want you guys to hear what he is doing instead of just going there and reading for yourself. I want to make you guys aware of it on the show. He says, I live with a spouse that has MS. You might know her as Kat, that lady that writes for National MS Society's blog. Or you may know her from her own blog, It's Only a Bruise. Or if you're lucky, she's in your life. I ride because someday she might not be able to. I've started training for what is now my third ride. We already do the MS Walk each year and brought in over $9,000 for Team Bruised Apple. But I know I can do more. And because I know I can do more, I will. I've signed up for Bike MS, a fundraising ride that is changing the lives of people affected by MS and helping fuel progress towards a world free of MS. I love your support as I prepare for this incredible experience. I'll go the distance for MS. It will take training, preparation, and ongoing commitment from hundreds of other people in Wisconsin and thousands of cyclists all over the country. What will really put power in my pedals is your support and commitment to those impacted by MS. Every mile we ride, brings us closer to our goal, a world free of MS. I've set an ambitious goal because I know with that support from people like you, we can get there. The money raised will help fund amazing progress in MS research, as well as programs and services that ensure people affected by MS can live their best lives. This cause is really important to me, so I hope you will help me end MS forever. That is on his donation page. I'm going to link you guys the donation page in the comment section of this video on YouTube. I'm going to pin it there. It will be there up until Rusty rides for that weekend, I believe is in August, because it's been in August the last couple of years. And I want to support him because he supported me. He's been there to help with this show. He's been there to help me and talk to me and just be there when he can. When I was going through my personal issues, he knows a lot about me more so than a lot of people do. And I want to help him because he's a good dude and this is a great fucking cause. If you guys know anybody with MS, if you live with somebody with MS, this is a great opportunity to support that cause. And Rusty is doing what he can, man. He's biking and he's putting himself through the trials and tribulations to, do what is best for this entire situation, man. So I wish him luck, and we will be here. The Off the Script family will be with Rusty each and every step of the way up until he rides this summer. And he's been training, man, and I've been monitoring his Twitter account. He's losing some pounds, man. It's a great way to work out as well. I need to fucking lose some pounds, even though people say I'm thin. I still want to get in shape. But I've been hitting the gym myself lately. But Rusty, he's helping himself out. He's getting healthy. He's getting fit. You monitor Rusty's Twitter page. He's got some delicious meals that he's preparing for himself. Chef of the future over there, motherfucker. But Rusty's doing a good thing, man. I want you guys to support. So I'm going to leave you that down in the comment section below pinned. Please go and check that out. I would really appreciate you helping Rusty get to his goal, which I believe he's already halfway there. Quicker than any year before. He's already halfway there. So let's get him to where he wants to be and help Rusty out during this MS bike ride, man. Follow me on Twitter. You guys know the deal. At JDFROMNY206. Subscribe to the YouTube channel down below. Hit that bell for notifications if they work. I don't know. YouTube's been having some issues. I've been hearing from the Kushmeister, Tom Kushney. I've been hearing from Macho T. I've been hearing from Grim. Everything's fucked up. Everything's fucked up. I'm not the only one seeing fucking declines and everything, man. YouTube's fucked up. The subscription boxes are fucked up. I don't know what's going on. But if you guys, please help out the channel. Let's get to, or at least closer than we've ever been to 100,000. Word of mouth helps. Tell a friend if you guys have friends or family members who love professional wrestling and want to hear, this outlandish podcast. I would really appreciate it. It would greatly help out the channel and the podcast, man. Subscribe and hit that bell. Turn on notifications. If you guys want to support, there are a few ways to do so. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. You guys know the deal. Get your t-shirts. When I do my tour all over Pittsburgh, Chicago, New York, I better be seeing some off-the-script merchandise worn in my presence, motherfucker. 15 designs. There's no excuse for you guys not to wear a t-shirt. There's plenty to choose from. Thank you to all those who have ordered shirts this week. I've got notifications. Thank you guys very much. So that's barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Harry's.com/script. You guys are going to get your free trial shave set. Get rid of that shave set that you got in your medicine cabinet right now, man. Harry's is the only one that you need. Maybe I should get Rusty some Harry's, even though his beard is looking fucking majestic as always. If he's got to shave, he's got to use Harry's, So, Rusty, if you're listening to me, man, when you want to put that blade to your face, make sure it's Harry's, man. Harry's.com/script. Free trial, you're going to get a blade, a handle, shave gel, and a protective case for your troubles, man. All you have to do is pay $2 or $3 for shipping and handling. Also, Audible, my friends over at Audible are still sponsoring this podcast. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. You guys are going to get 30 days. That's 1 month free of Audible service, plus 1 free audiobook of your choice. And if you guys say, you know what, Audible ain't for me, man, I want to cancel my subscription, you guys can do so, and you're going to get to keep your audiobook for free. So make sure you guys tell a friend. If you've already signed up, tell a friend, a coworker, a classmate, a family member. Spread the word of Audible. Give the gift of Audible. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. And if you guys are looking for something to do this weekend, I'll be at House of Glory, Club Amazura, NYC Arena. House of Glory presents Temperature Rising. Sammy Callahan's going to be in the house. We're going to have Jeff Jarrett in the house. Mean Gene. Demolition's in the house. Ultimo Dragon is on the fucking card. Come on, man. You guys want the best in indie wrestling on the East Coast? You look no further than House of Glory. I'll be there with my commentary team, Matthew Ryan Shapiro and Ben Venuto. We're going to be doing our thing. If you're going to come up to me, make sure you have a Guinness in hand. I accept nothing else. Or, you know what? Maybe I'll switch it up. Hand me a Corona. Guinness is too heavy, man. I'm trying to lose weight. Maybe a Corona on Saturday night. So we'll see what happens, man. Make sure there's a lime in there. Always got to be a lime in my Corona. Anyway, House of Glory, HOGWrestling.net if you guys want to get tickets. I believe right now it's only standing room only. It's sold out. So if you guys want to get tickets, there are still some available right now at HOGWrestling.net, man. So that's that. A lot of stuff to get into. Anyway, let's talk about this Roman Reigns situation, man. Oh, JD, why do you have Roman Reigns in the title of the video, man? Because he's in the fucking news. It wouldn't be a newsworthy week without Roman Reigns, right? Anyway, I don't know what else to say about this. I don't know what else you want me to say on this situation. You guys know that whatever WWE has planned is wrong. It's an inevitability. I'm not going to be salty. I'm not going to be mad, but I know the Roman fans and the Roman legions on social media are going to try and spread their happiness and, try and get one over on everybody, but it's not going to matter. You know when it's going to matter? When the ratings increase when Roman's champion. If they don't, then you know he is not the one. But I don't think anybody in WWE right now is the one to have the ratings increase. The only one that is possible is if A, WWE goes out and signs all of the Bullet Club, and B, if WWE brings CM Punk back, which he stated with Ariel Helwani, that nobody's even made him an offer to come back to anything, including All In. So I watched that interview last night, and it was, Phil Brooks is fucking awesome. Man, I love fucking Phil Brooks. Phil Brooks is just like me, man. I just love his personality. He went into that courtroom, a whole week of litigation, and he ended up winning. He ended up being validated for everything that he was feeling. And when the guy breaks down on the stand, on trial, it's fucking bothering him, and he's compassionate. It was important to him. And I'm glad CM Punk won that verdict. The reason why I'm happy that he won it is because he deserves to be happy. He knew he wasn't happy in that situation, in that moment of his life, and it broke him down. And now he's happy, and he's doing what he wants. Everybody deserves to be happy. This was a weight lifted off of his shoulders. He was not happy at all. And the fact that he is now doing what he wants, and he's still the most sought-after individual in all of this sport. CM Punk's got the world by the balls, man. Everybody deserves to be happy at some point. I would never want him to come back into a situation like that ever again. People talk about CM Punk wanting Punk to be back in the WWE. After listening to this guy fucking talk and break down during this trial with Chris Amon, right? And him explaining how unhappy he was and how he was neglected and how miserable he was in that instance, in that situation of his life. Why would you ever want him to come back and ever go through that again? He deserves to be happy. I would never want him to be unhappy again. So congratulations to Phil Brooks on that. And, I won't be watching because I'll be at House of Glory, but I'll be monitoring my fucking Twitter all night to see if he beats Mike Jackson at UFC 225 in Chicago. So I wish him the best. People are saying, if he loses, he's definitely going to be at All In, or if he loses, he's going to be back in professional wrestling. Punk is going to do what he wants to do. But he said to Ariel Helwani that nobody's even made him an offer to come back. You don't think Vince McMahon wants CM Punk back? No matter what the verdict was in this case? Vince McMahon would drop his pants to have CM Punk back. Everybody knows CM Punk is the only one right now that would ever move the needle, not named Nick and Matt Jackson, not named Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes. That's the God honest truth. So I'm happy for Punk. I'm happy for Phil Brooks. Good for him. But we're not talking about Phil Brooks here, man. I just wanted to get that out there because I know that was a big story. I really didn't cover it. Really didn't care to. It's not really news. He won. Big deal. He's going to fight at UFC. Big deal. All we can do is watch him, support him, and be in his corner. There's no reason for you not to be in Punk's corner. I'll tell you whose corner we're not in. That's Roman Reigns. First of all, the commentary team on Monday night. Let me tell you something right now about Monday Night Raw. I don't know why Jonathan Coachman wasn't there on Monday night. Nor do I care, because Coachman has really, really fallen out of favor in my eyes. I think he's a corporate shill. I think he is nothing but a WWE ball tickler. But they brought in David Otunga, and my fucking God, the guy is not even affiliated with Monday Night Raw in any way, and this guy was sucking so much dick off of Roman Reigns. It was fucking nauseating. Why was he doing that? I don't know. Was he being fed lines through his headset by Vince McMahon? Did Monday Night Raw's commentary team give away WWE Universal title plans? According to some, that may very well be the case thanks to Mr. Otunga. Despite not being on television, Brock Lesnar is still the main talk of WWE as fans are wondering when he's going to drop the Universal Championship. It's not, I want to see Brock Lesnar come back and I'm wondering who he's fighting. No, everybody's talk is, when is this fuck going to drop the title? The last time we saw Lesnar in action was at the greatest Royal Rumble event in Jeddah, where he managed to overcome Roman Reigns for a successive time, even if the rumors suggested Roman Reigns would defeat Lesnar and allow Lesnar to return to the UFC. With Lesnar not expected to compete at Money in the Bank or Extreme Rules, it's being claimed that his next title defense will come at SummerSlam, which is still around 2 months away. Reigns and Braun Strowman quickly came forward as the two favorites to potentially battle and dethrone Lesnar at the biggest party of the summer. However, we discussed on part 1 of episode 224 last weekend how Seth Rollins is the new name that has now emerged as a welcomed outsider to challenge Lesnar, especially since WWE's been running the hashtag #BrockWho angle on social media, with Seth Rollins being the fighting champion on Monday Night Raw compared to the inactive Universal Champion Brock Lesnar. Now, we all know that Seth Rollins makes the most sense. We got to take this step by step. Rollins is the Intercontinental Champion. Will WWE do champion versus champion? Probably not. That's not the most economical way to do things here. It's not the most logical way to do things. Okay, if Rollins and Lesnar are going to battle, it's going to be with Rollins dropping the title beforehand to somebody else. Probably Elias. You could drop the title to Elias. Elias can play that in-between tweener. Heel, babyface. You can have Elias and Finn Balor go at it for the Intercontinental Championship. I would like to see that. That was a feud that I had on the back burner when, Balor was challenging for the Intercontinental Championship, putting it on a babyface. Here we are with Seth Rollins as the babyface, and Rollins is defending the title against an emerging Elias on Monday Night Raw. Elias could challenge Balor. Elias and Dean Ambrose when he comes back, if you want to do that. You got Elias and Chad Gable. Elias and Dolph Ziggler if they break him away from Drew McIntyre. You put the title back on a babyface. You got Bobby Roode who could turn heel and he could challenge for the Intercontinental Championship. You got options. Sami Zayn is another one who could challenge for the IC title. Bobby Lashley could challenge for the IC title, even though I don't think he should be challenging for anything. I don't even think he should be employed at this point. That's how fucking bad he's been. But the title needs to be off Rollins for that match to happen. Yes, it sounds epic, title versus title, champion versus champion, but I don't think WWE is going to do that. Plus, the IC title deserves some spotlight at SummerSlam, being that it is the main title right now on Monday Night Raw. Rollins is the favorite, no question. Then there's the argument of, will Rollins be believable? Is Rollins going to be believable? Of course he's going to be believable. Was Punk believable against Lesnar? Yeah. Was AJ Styles believable against Brock Lesnar? Of course. Was John Cena believable against Brock Lesnar? Yeah. Makes no difference. What puts Roman Reigns in the hierarchy over everybody believable against Brock Lesnar? If Rollins, to some, isn't believable, then Roman Reigns is not believable. They're in the same boat. And Rollins is much better than Roman Reigns. So of course he's believable. All you need to go back and do is watch AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. It's like AJ and Rollins are the same fucking wrestler. There's no difference. So of course he's believable. It's up to WWE to build a believable match. Now, you look at Reigns, and we all know that Reigns isn't the guy. We all know Reigns is not the chosen one. We all know Reigns and what he's doing now, right? He's in a feud with Jinder Mahal. If he beats Jinder Mahal, does WWE expect me to believe that, well, he lost at WrestleMania clean, and he lost at the Greatest Royal Rumble, and now he beat Jinder Mahal in a one-on-one match at Money in the Bank, and probably at Extreme Rules. Does that mean that Roman Reigns is worthy now of becoming or getting an opportunity to become the Universal Champion? On what fucking planet, on what wrestling show are you going to put Roman Reigns against a Jinder Mahal, have him beat said Jinder Mahal, and have that warrant a Universal Championship match? You got to be out of your fucking mind. The most Roman Reigns should be getting by beating Jinder Mahal is a dinner at fucking Subway. No, but he's going to be getting a Universal Championship match for beating Jinder Mahal? Are you fucking crazy? How does that make any sense to anybody? You're okay with that. You're making Roman Reigns seem way more important than he really is, and you're putting way too much value in someone who's probably worth nothing in Jinder Mahal. Think. Now, if Reigns beat Rollins, that's a different story. Rollins is the number one contender. No question. Reigns is in the back of the line. in the back of the line as far as I'm concerned. Because Rollins has outperformed everybody, number one. Number two, the Intercontinental Champion, especially the way he's performing now, doesn't that make him the guy right underneath the main guy? Let's do the right thing here, WWE. Let's do the right thing here. Now, while more and more reports have surfaced stating that Rollins will drop the Intercontinental Championship to Elias, because the fans are lobbying, the fans are completely behind Elias, and go on to challenge Lesnar, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter brought up something interesting from this week's episode of Monday Night Raw, which appeared to give away possible plans for the Universal title. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, after Raw, Meltzer highlighted that the commentators went on and on and on about how Reigns was cheated at the Greatest Royal Rumble and how Reigns was the uncrowned champion, suggesting that WWE could once again revisit Lesnar and Reigns one more time. You do know that if Reigns and Lesnar battle at SummerSlam, it will be the second time in the history of this company that the same match that main evented WrestleMania main evented SummerSlam. I don't think Lesnar or Reigns deserve that honor at all. At all. According to Meltzer, he said, by the way, I should mention in commentary during the tag team match between Rollins and Reigns and Mahal and Elias, I was going to say Owens, Mahal and Elias, and you got to love how WWE is still using Roman paired next to Rollins just to feed off of him. Because they know what Rollins is doing right now, and they're desperate to get Reigns over. It's pathetic. I see right through them. He says, by the way, I should mention in the commentary during the tag team match, they made it very clear that Roman Reigns is the guy who's going to be wrestling Lesnar. I mean, it went on and on and on about how he got cheated at the Greatest Royal Rumble, how he's going for the championship, so it doesn't look like it's Strowman. I mean, they could change their mind, but they were pretty strong on commentary on, what's going to be the big program heading into SummerSlam, end quote. Then, reports came out yesterday, and then Wednesday. It came out Wednesday. People continued to talk about it on Thursday. Reigns is involved in a feud right now with Mahal going into Money in the Bank. We all know that. The expectation is that their rivalry will conclude at Extreme Rules and Roman Reigns will move on to bigger and better things at SummerSlam. But again, I present to you, does beating Jinder Mahal warrant a Universal Championship match? That's the next thing people are going to start bitching and moaning about. Believe me. There's a lot of speculation about him receiving another title match against Lesnar. Recently, it was rumored that Lesnar would be defending the championship against Seth Rollins. I reported that on part 1 of Off the Script last week, and according to a report from the Wrestling Observer, that won't be the case at all. WWE officials are planning for Roman Reigns to get another Universal title match against Lesnar, which is going to be very bad news for a lot of fans. The expectation before Rollins was that Bobby Lashley was brought back to be the one to defeat Lesnar at SummerSlam for the Universal Championship. God, that would have been awful. The WWE Universe wasn't thrilled with that idea, but it was better for most people than yet another Lesnar-Reigns match, which I am not going to disagree with. I'm not going to disagree with at all. However, WWE seemed to have made their decision. It's been said that WWE officials canceled Reigns' title win at WrestleMania because of the negative reaction against him, which is bullshit, or just WWE is just plain fucking stupid because this has been happening for 3 years now. Now you're disappointed with the reaction that he got at WrestleMania? What happened at the Royal Rumble a couple of years ago? What happened at WrestleMania 32? What happened then? What did you expect would happen this year? Did you expect people to fucking whip out their cock and balls and start having a parade right there in the audience? Hey, Roman Reigns, let it all hang out! The fuck did you expect? Of course they were gonna fucking revolt and throw beach balls. This is awful, they were chanting. This is boring. The fuck did you want? You wanted cheers. What did you expect? Come on, you can't be that fucking stupid. They canceled that because of negative reaction, quote unquote. They also didn't pull the trigger at the Greatest Royal Rumble for whatever reason. I don't know why. Most fans will watch SummerSlam with the expectations that WWE officials are finally going to allow Reigns to beat Lesnar, but most fans are expecting the unexpected at this point. There's still 2 months away between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. Officials obviously could change their minds. They've done it before. But it's very likely that Reigns will be booed out of the Barclays Center. So now you're not going to be in New Orleans. You're not going to have 80,000 fucking people in New Orleans. You're going to have a volatile, confined, 15,000 loud, New fucking Yorkers yelling their displeasure at Roman Reigns. What do you think they are going to do in the Barclays Center at SummerSlam when you give them the main event that nobody wants and an outcome that nobody fucking cares for? Do you expect them to fucking whip out their cock and balls and have a fucking parade right there in the audience? Right? Are the men going to be overly excited that they're going to have sex with their girlfriends right on the fucking aisle floor? Right in front of their fucking seat? Right? What are they going to do? Or are they going to fucking take their $14 Budweiser and vomit all over the fucking chair with Roman Reigns' face on it because they can't stand the fucking guy? This is fucking terrible. This is a fucking absolute shame for WWE. It's pathetic. They've done it before. It's likely that Reigns will be booed out of the Barclays Center, and that's not the reaction the company wants, seeing that they're crowning a new top guy. Let me tell you something, WWE. You crowned a new top guy at WrestleMania 32. That was his crowning moment, and it failed. Now you're giving him another crowning moment? How many crowning moments does he need? He beat Triple H in the main event at WrestleMania 32 in front of quote-unquote 100,000 people. You put him in the main event of WrestleMania 33 against The Undertaker. Not many people have that on their resume. And then you put him in the main event of WrestleMania 34 against Brock Lesnar. Now you want to give him another main event match at SummerSlam? After he lost clean to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania? And then you want to give him another title match because he beat Jinder fucking Mahal? Do you really want backlash at SummerSlam? Do you want the headlines to read worst SummerSlam main event ever? What do you expect? How do you expect WWE to book this match? How differently do you expect it to be after what we've seen at WrestleMania? What is Reigns going to take? 12 F5s? Are they going to double up on the F5s because he received 6 at WrestleMania? Are they going to do 12? What are you going to give me that's different at SummerSlam? I haven't heard one podcast talk about turning this guy heel and going into such a situation like I did, direct, down to the very last fucking thread, to turn this guy heel. I got every fucking thing planned out about how to make SummerSlam the most epic of all time. You do Rollins and Lesnar. Reigns needs to lose to Jinder. You see, the money is in Reigns losing. The money isn't in Reigns overcoming Jinder, because Jinder ain't a threat. Who is Jinder Mahal? What has Jinder done on television that is such a threat to Roman Reigns? Oh, he ruined me from going into Money in the Bank. Wow! Wow! Let's hang our head in shame because we didn't get into a Money in the Bank ladder match. It's not enough for me, people. It's not enough. You see, the money, just like Undertaker and Cena, people were asking, why is this match happening? Why isn't The Undertaker on television? Well, dumbass, the money was in The Undertaker being silent. The money in that feud leading up to WrestleMania was The Undertaker being off television. And I'm going to say the same thing again here, but Reigns, the money in Reigns is in him losing. The money is in Reigns going against management. You see, when I think of the Shield, I think back to when they were put together to bring justice to the WWE. Reigns can easily set aside a new Shield. Reigns could go into business for himself and bring justice, not to the WWE, because the WWE is against him, but to bring justice to Roman Reigns. Isn't that where the money is? Isn't that where the money is? Can you imagine Roman Reigns and the Authors of Pain? I don't believe I'm saying this again. I sound like a fucking broken record every single week. Roman Reigns and the Authors of Pain destroying the main event of SummerSlam. Rollins can win the title. Give Rollins the title. Reigns there to cause chaos with the Authors of Pain. They destroy Lesnar so bad he goes to the UFC. Goodbye. Don't ever come back. Or if you're gonna go fight the UFC, do what you gotta do and then come back at a later date. But the main thing here is destroying the babyface that everybody loves, Rollins. Can you imagine the reaction that Roman Reigns would get if he beats down both guys at the end of SummerSlam with the Authors of Pain? You do realize that if Reigns stays the way he is right now, it will fail. Reigns the way he is now will fail. So you might as well just give me what everybody wants. You might as well give Reigns what he needs. Because if he goes into a match with anybody from this point on, if he's the Universal Champion, he's going to get universally booed. And you don't want that because it's going to come off as, it's going to be perceived as backwards. Why are they booing this guy when he is the babyface and being portrayed as one? Why don't you turn him heel and have him portray a heel? You do realize that Reigns going against babyfaces right now is the best possible solution, but as a heel. If you're going to put Reigns against people who are heels, those heels are going to be babyfaces, and Reigns is going to be the heel, but he's going to be portrayed as a babyface. And WWE is going to push him as, oh, he's the champion, he's the big dog, he's the guy everybody comes to see. No, that's wrong. If you don't see money in Reigns as a heel, you are a fucking idiot. Reigns as a heel against a babyface Seth Rollins is money. Reigns as a heel against a Finn Balor babyface, money. Reigns as a heel against a babyface Strowman, money. Reigns as a heel against a babyface in Daniel Bryan, money. Don't at me. Don't at me. You're wrong and I'm right. Your opinion is invalid. Nothing you tell me is right. It's not an opinion. It's stupidity. I'm going to say it again. Anybody that disagrees with me on this, your opinion is invalid. And I don't want to hear anybody. Reigns needs to be a heel. Because the way he's portrayed right now is not what the reaction is going to be. What WWE wants. If this guy was a heel, this entire show would be turned upside down. There'd be something right on this show. And booking Reigns and aligning him with a new stable to get guys who need to be over. I mean, it's a win-win situation for everybody. I don't believe I have to tell this to you again, because this news came out about Roman Reigns' creative plans for SummerSlam revealed, and Meltzer's talking about how everything you're hearing about Seth Rollins is not what's going to happen. I'm telling you what needs to happen. And if you don't agree with me, I really don't give a fuck. Roman Reigns, right now, has done nothing to guarantee him or warrant a Universal Championship match. He doesn't deserve it. And the fans will be shitting, waiting to shit all over it. I don't want to go into SummerSlam bitching, moaning, complaining about, no, why? Change it! Fucking ridiculous how this company is just so set on getting this guy over. Failed 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. They think it's gonna fucking miraculously change at SummerSlam. If it didn't work at fucking WrestleMania, in New York City, you're expecting it to fucking change. You are either fucking ignorant as fuck, or you are the dumbest fucking group of people running a wrestling organization that I've ever fucking seen on the face of the planet. Something needs to change. Something needs to change. Please, look yourselves in the mirror and realize Roman is a failure. He is the biggest creative failure that has ever existed in the WWE. For real. I don't want to talk about it anymore. That's your fucking top story. Speaking of Vince McMahon, the one guy who was solely behind this failure known as Roman Reigns, Madison Square Garden is apparently furious with Vince McMahon. We talked about this on Off the Script Extra. Madison Square Garden wants to house outside non-WWE wrestling shows, whether that's AAA, whether that's Ring of Honor, whether that's All In 2, which Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks teased at a Ring of Honor show at the Hammerstein Ballroom last week. Or Madison Square Garden gets New Japan. I think, you put on a card like they're putting on with Dominion in Madison Square Garden, I think Madison Square Garden would sell out. That's my honest opinion. But Vince McMahon doesn't want any other wrestling shows at Madison Square Garden. Why the fuck not? You're not holding shows there outside of the random house show 2 or 3 times a year. You can't do live TV there because of the television costs and the production costs. They won't do it. That's why they go to the Barclays Center. They got a nice sweet deal over in Brooklyn. Madison Square Garden's asking, what the fuck's going on? You got SummerSlam there 4 years in a row. WrestleMania is coming back to New York City, New Jersey, and you're holding all your shit at the Barclays Center? Fuck's going on here, Vince? You want to talk? The McMahons have had a monopoly over wrestling events in Madison Square Garden for decades. The world's most famous arena, it's called, has helped build WWE's brand, and there have even been countless great moments inside the Garden. However, it seems like WWE's dynamic with Madison Square Garden management has become strained over the last couple of months. According to Mike Johnson and PW Insider, AAA is looking at holding an event at Madison Square Garden in September. There have also been rumors about All In 2 happening inside the arena. It's believed that WWE has an agreement to refuse dates for other wrestling promotions in the arena. However, MSG management would only become more frustrated with WWE. Apparently, Madison Square Garden officials are upset with WWE officials for running most of their events out of the Barclays Center in Brooklyn instead of out of Madison Square Garden. This August will be the 4th straight year that the Barclays Center has hosted SummerSlam. The final straw was WWE announcing all of their WrestleMania 35 events for Barclays, which left Madison Square Garden with nothing. As a result, MSG officials are more open to hosting other wrestling promotions and events in the future. Nothing has been confirmed as of yet, but it seems like the opportunity for wrestling companies to strike would be now, because the McMahons might not have a monopoly on wrestling inside Madison Square Garden for much longer. Theoretically, it would be quite the sight to see other wrestling shows inside MSG. New Japan, like I mentioned, Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, and a few others would show New York that there's more wrestling in the world than WWE. The two sides might work out their differences, but they might not. But it could be a very exciting time for the wrestling industry. Vince thinks who he is. Vince thinks WWE is the end-all, be-all. You got to get out of your fucking fantasy land, okay? You don't want to hold... Vince doesn't own Madison Square Garden. He thinks he's the owner of the entire fucking building. Who the fuck is he? If MSG wants to do something for their business and their venue, they are going to do that. Vince can't stop them. It's all jealousy. This is all jealousy. Yet Vince McMahon isn't concerned with, Ring of Honor or New Japan. He doesn't know of New Japan. Why would he? Why the fuck does he care about New Japan? He don't give a fuck about All In, right? Of course WWE is monitoring All In. You fucking kidding me? You don't think Vince McMahon knows Cody Rhodes sold out a venue with his fucking friends in 29 minutes? You gotta be out of your fucking mind ignorant if you don't think that. Of course they know. They got cease and desist letters sent to them for a fucking stunt that they pulled outside of a Monday Night Raw. They got Jimmy Jacobs fired. So clearly they know who the fucking Young Bucks are. Now they're seeing All In with the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Cody Rhodes selling out in 29 minutes? Come on, man. Of course they know. They don't want anybody else to eat in the wrestling industry. Vince wants everything for himself. He wants to bear hug the entire industry. You can't do that. You can't do that. If you have made a business decision to run all your events out of the Barclays Center because of whatever reason for Madison Square Garden being too high or it's too expensive, the production costs are too much, problem with the venue, whatever. That is your choice. If somebody else is willing to give Madison Square Garden the fees to run an event in their venue, then Madison Square Garden has every right to say, you know what, Vince, you're doing your thing, we're going to do our thing. We're going to allow these people to have an event here because they're willing to pay us. You're not. That's all it comes down to. It's money and it's jealousy. The fact that Vince McMahon doesn't want anybody else to play in his little sandbox at Madison Square Garden stems from jealousy. And I hope that we see a New Japan. You know how great it would be for the fucking tri-state area if New Japan Pro Wrestling had a pay-per-view at Madison Square Garden? Or Ring of Honor? Or All In 2? Lucha Underground? You know, I would love to attend the Lucha Underground taping. Why not tape something at MSG? Not saying that Lucha Underground is going to sell out MSG, but, I mean, if they're open and they want to get in on how popular wrestling has been, you can't blame them. They're trying to run a business just like Vince is trying to run a business. But Vince doesn't want anybody else to run a business in wrestling because he doesn't want to look at or be looked at as, you know, someone pushed to the side. Come on, man. Vince doesn't love professional wrestling. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Vince doesn't love professional wrestling. He loves having power and money. Vince and the people that work for him, that tickle his balls and suck his dick, they don't love professional wrestling. They don't. I hope that changes, and I hope that we see more professional wrestling inside Madison Square Garden. Speaking of something that I would like to see more of, Neville. And I'd love to see Neville wrestle, whether that's with Impact Wrestling or WWE. I heard Austin Aries called out Neville, and he wants Neville to come into Impact Wrestling. Whether that is going to happen remains to be seen. But Neville, speaking about his WWE tenure, hasn't been featured on television since October. It's been reported that Neville's contract with the company has been frozen, and he's just been waiting for it to expire at home for the last 8 months. There have been rumors that he and WWE officials are negotiating about his future, but nothing has been decided. According to a report, Neville may be back with the company, and WWE officials are trying to get him back for the United Kingdom show on the WWE network that's currently in development. The idea is to push him as one of their top faces for the brand, since the WWE is already familiar with him from his time on the main roster. In terms of mending the bridge between Neville and WWE, the idea is to at least get him on board for the UK show until his contract expires with the company. In all likelihood, he would leave the WWE on slightly better terms. However, there's also a chance that they could work something out and continue working together if their relationship improves. In terms of mending the bridge between Neville and WWE, I think that's great. I think that needs to happen. If you want to make him... listen, Triple H is involved with 205 Live now. He is the sole guy behind 205 Live. Even if you want to bring him back to 205 Live and make him the face of the company where he was, before, that could be great for the brand. Neville versus Leo Rush. Neville versus Cedric Alexander. Neville versus Buddy Murphy. Neville could take that brand to even greater heights than what we're seeing now, and it's pretty great right now. Neville being a part of this UK show. Neville versus Pete Dunn for the UK Championship. Sign me the fuck up, man. Where am I watching and how much does it cost? I think that's great. Neville wanted the respect that he felt like he deserved. And Vince, 205 Live, didn't do right by him. They handcuffed him to that division. They would not let him get off of that brand and show the world what he could do on Raw and SmackDown against a Samoa Joe or Seth Rollins or a Roman Reigns or a Finn Balor, a Kevin Owens, a Sami Zayn. And that's where we all wanted to see Neville. WWE did wrong by him. They didn't feature him on the main card for the Cruiserweight Championship when Austin Aries was there. He didn't get the WrestleMania payday. They didn't put that on the DVD box. That wasn't part of the DVD when you went to go purchase the DVD at Walmart, Target, Best Buy. Neville's match wasn't on there. So he didn't get royalties from that. That was a rumor about upsetting him. Then you had Enzo Amore come over to 205 Live and beat Neville. On what fucking planet is Enzo Amore going to beat Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship? Vince wanted characters to thrive on 205 Live instead of the wrestling. Look how much better off the fucking show is now. Look how much traction the show has. Look how much momentum the show has. Look how much people, look how many people are talking about the show now, more so than ever. Neville was fucking slighted. He was disrespected. And that's all he wanted. You think Neville would have been in this type of mind frame if Triple H was running 205 Live this entire time? Of course not. Triple H wouldn't do wrong by Neville. Triple H is now trying to get Neville back on board because he knows how much talent he has, he knows what he's worth, and he knows what he could possibly do with him. They don't want Neville showing up in Impact. They don't want Neville going over to New Japan and fighting Will Ospreay or Okada or whomever. They don't want that. They want him back in the WWE. I would like to see him back in the WWE. I'd like to see him get a fresh start. But if they're going to make him the face of this UK show, there's no better time than now. Let's do it. Let's do it. As long as you give him what he deserves and showcase his talent, let him do what he wants to do. That's all he ever wanted. He wants to wrestle. He don't want to be stuck on 205 Live, handcuffed to 205 Live, losing to Enzo Amore. It's not the best way to keep a roster happy. Enzo is fucking garbage, man. My God, that song was terrible. People were asking me, Jay, did you hear the Enzo song? Yeah, I heard it, and I don't want to hear it again. At all. What else do we got here, man? Something that's... Actually, you know what? I do have news on the United Kingdom tournament. I didn't think I had it in my notes. The United Kingdom tournament will be streaming on the WWE Network. WWE announced that the upcoming United Kingdom Championship Tournament will stream on the WWE Network a week after the show is taped. WWE announced the following. It makes its historic return to London's Royal Albert Hall for the first time in more than 20 years. With the WWE United Kingdom Championship Tournament later this month, and the members of the WWE Universe will have their chance to catch all the action on the WWE Network. I believe the last time WWE was there, they had a 20-man battle royal in which Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog, won a battle royal at Royal Albert Hall. It's a long fucking time ago, man. The two-day event will stream in two parts on the WWE Network, Monday, June 25th, and Tuesday, June 26th at 3 p.m. Eastern. So, it's going to be difficult, man. I have to watch, probably going to be 2 hours, review it, watch Raw, review that. Man, oh man, work never ends, bruh. Work never ends, but good for you guys, right? A limited number of tickets for the Royal Albert Hall events are available, which tape Monday, June 18 and Tuesday, June 19. They are still available if you guys want to go, if you're in that area, livenation.co.uk or bookingsdirect.com. Already announced for one night at Royal Albert Hall are the quarterfinal, semifinal, and final matches of the 2018 United Kingdom Championship Tournament, featuring 16 of the top competitors from UK's vibrant wrestling scene. The tournament will decide the challenger for the UK champion, Pete Dunn, on Night 2. Night 1 will also include a 6-man tag team match pitting Pete Dunn, Tyler Bate, and Trent Seven against Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong. Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly. I mixed up O'Reilly and Roderick there because I don't know why. It's just something that fucking came out of my mouth, man. I'm fucking tired. It's 11:30 on Thursday, and I'm recording this for Friday because I have House of Glory on Saturday. Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly in appearances by WWE Hall of Famers Triple H and Shawn Michaels. In addition to the UK Championship match between Pete Dunne and the tournament winner, the second night at Royal Albert Hall will feature a tag team match between Alistair Black and Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream and EC3, plus a North American Championship, a Women's Championship, and the NXT Tag Team Championship. So this is like we're getting TakeOver on June 16. It's like the next week we're getting another TakeOver. If you missed that second night, or if you missed that first night rather, man, you're doing yourself a fucking huge disservice. I can't wait for that shit. I can't wait for night 1. So it's better than fucking TakeOver we're getting in Chicago. Holy shit. Anyway, that's going to be fun. It's going to be taping June 18, June 19. It's going to air the next week, June 25 and June 26 on the WWE Network, man. Can't wait for that. How deep am I in here, man? We are an hour. I'm going to end it right here, man. We're going to talk about this one, and we're going to get the fuck out of here. Because we already did 35 minutes with the opening of this show. Baron Corbin. I didn't talk about him in the opening. Didn't talk about him when I went over the weekend review. Constable Corbin. As soon as the superstar shakeup, I'm starting to fucking fumble my words now. I gotta get the fuck out of here. As soon as the superstar shakeup was in the books, fans were counting down the days until WWE did what they were rumored to do and give Baron Corbin that massive push. On SmackDown Live, the Lone Wolf couldn't quite crack the WWE Championship picture, as he was booked to fail his cash-in attempt. Miserably, by the way, and then he went on to face John Cena at SummerSlam and lose in the opening match in about 10 minutes. Still no secret that Vince McMahon is a big fan of Baron Corbin. That's why he's been moved to the F show. F for failure. Monday Night Raw. It's not the A show, it's the F show. Failure. You could argue that Brock Lesnar is holding the Universal Championship hostage. This makes it much more difficult for anybody else to try and reach that top of the mountain. Even so, despite that speculative push he was about to be given, WWE didn't place him in any other feud outside of No Way Jose. They don't even want to put him in the Intercontinental Championship conversation either. Instead, Elias is getting that opportunity at Money in the Bank. WWE did something strange with Corbin this week on Raw. After taking out the fake James Harden in Houston to hand Kurt Hawkins defeat number 200 and then dump tacos on him after the fact, which was very disappointing, by the way, because I love tacos, and to see tacos wasted is heartbreaking to me. He went backstage and told General Manager Kurt Angle that his new role is something fans to believe is the start of a new push. You'll notice that Corbin now is going as Constable Corbin. He's the new constable of Monday Night Raw, as if we didn't have enough authority figures as it is. And he was appointed to this role by Stephanie McMahon herself. He's going to be assisting Angle with his overall duties, and as many assuming that aligning with the authority could lead to bigger things for Corbin on Raw. However, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter has revealed that the real intention behind Constable Corbin becoming a thing on Raw, and while a push can't be ruled out entirely, is still quite strange by WWE. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio this week, Meltzer revealed that it's a way to create a new authority figure while Stephanie isn't there, especially since they have nobody to feud with Corbin right now. According to Meltzer, he says, and I quote, "I guess the idea is that they got nobody to feud with him, so this is a way to keep him in the spotlight, feuding with Kurt Angle, and they started that out. But yeah, more authority figures, yay." End quote. Fans have remained critical that Raw always feels the need to have the dastardly authority figures make lives difficult. Now, I wish they would take a page out of NXT's book. You don't see William Regal going around fucking throwing his power everywhere. You never even see William Regal on the fucking show. But when you do, you know it's, okay, let me stop what I'm doing. William Regal has a major announcement here. He's about to inflict power on the brand. That's what they need to do. Having Kurt Angle come out every week is very boring, repetitive, and god-awful. It's stale. And when Stephanie's there, she makes the show unbearable to watch. In every segment she's in, she's fucking unbearable. Now we got another authority figure in Baron Corbin. Nobody really gives a shit about Baron Corbin as a professional wrestler. What makes you think we're going to give a shit about Baron Corbin as a constable on Monday Night Raw? Maybe the only positive I see with Constable Corbin is to get some of his personality out there. To get him a little bit more comfortable in front of a camera and a microphone. That's the only positive I'm looking at here with Constable Corbin. While it's worked in the past, such as their alignment with Seth Rollins, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's something the fans want to see all the time. Fans are already losing interest in Corbin rather quickly, and this might not be the best way to fix that unless they somehow love to see a feud with Angle take place at SummerSlam. I don't even want to see Corbin and Angle at SummerSlam, man. That just sounds fucking god-awful. It really does. I mean, the only thing I want to see Angle do at SummerSlam, if they want to get Angle on SummerSlam, is something with Jason Jordan. That's the best way to get Jason Jordan back. I don't see this doing anything as far as Baron Corbin's popularity. I don't see this leading to anything for Baron Corbin unless they want to make Baron Corbin the new Seth Rollins and the new political puppet in the authority, Whatever. I don't know where this is going. It just goes to show you the two things. Number one, this could be a good thing for Baron Corbin to get him and his personality out there. Or this could be just a lack of creativity on WWE's behalf and just another reason why this show is a creative failure. They have no long-term plan. Look at the talent they have on this show and then look at this type of situation. This is the very best you got for Baron Corbin? Tell me. That's the best idea you can come up with for Baron Corbin. What's a word, an authority figure word that could go with Baron Corbin that starts with the letter C? Oh, Constable Corbin. Yep, we got it. Let's write him in the script. Blah, 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 blah. There you go. There you go, Vince. Constable Corbin. How lame can you be? Instead of having competitive matches and making matches on the mid-card feel important to fill out a role and a next opponent for Seth Rollins and the Intercontinental Championship, I don't fucking know, man. I guess putting him as authority figure is more important than having him wrestle and build status with the WWE Universe. I don't know, man. I'm fucking dumbfounded by it. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit about Monday Night Raw. At this point, it's exactly what I have told you it would be. And it's only going to get worse. The more money Raw makes and the more money SmackDown makes, the worse this product is going to get going into next year, October 2019. And it's mind-boggling. Raw is getting worse and worse every single week. This is some of the worst shit that they've ever produced. And NBC Universal paid for what they're getting on TV now. Imagine that. Imagine that. I guess NBC Universal likes the 400-pound slob sitting in the corner with buffalo sauce dripping down her fucking lip. You know? Can I have more chicken fingers? You know? Whatever, man. I'm getting the fuck out of here. It's almost 12 midnight. I hope you guys enjoy this episode of Off the Script. And I will see you guys back here on Saturday. I'll be at House of Glory when Saturday's episode uploads. But if you want to meet me at House of Glory, HOGWrestling.net. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. And don't forget to get your t-shirts. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Harrys.com/offthescript. Actually, no, Harrys.com/script. I'm so fucking tired. I don't even know what the fuck's going on. Harrys.com/script. Then you got audibletrial.com/offthescript. And please don't forget Rusty and his Bike for MS tour in Wisconsin, man. Please go and support that. That is majorly important. Probably the most important thing we talked about today. That will be linked down in the comment section below and pinned at the top of the comment section. Donate if you can. Help Rusty out. He's a good dude and a good friend of mine. That's Off the Script, guys. Thank you so much. This is episode 225, part 1. I'll be back tomorrow for part 2 of this very podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on Saturday afternoon. If you guys are coming to House of Glory, I'll see you live and in person doing my thing on commentary for HOG. Until then, take care. Have a great Friday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Off the Script. Talk to you later.